Might be better.
Yes. Yep.
See everyone?
Yep.
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 All right, give me 1 second. Okay.
Good morning. I'd like to thank everyone here today for participating. We also want to thank the viewing audience. Today, in the midst of chaos, we will see some good. We're gathered to announce the new Rochester Police Foundation initiatives and recognize recent efforts by individuals and local businesses. My name is Tim Tompkins. I'm president of the Rochester Police Foundation. I'd like to thank Mayor Lovely Warren for taking time out of her very busy schedule to be with us today, and Rochester Deputy Police Chief Joseph Morabito, and the good Dr. Mark Gestring, Medical Director of the Kessler Trauma Center at URMC, and this area's #1 trauma surgeon, and Stefani LiDestri, co-CEO of LiDestri Food and Drink. More about Stephanie later. Also, Brian Donovan, Rochester Police Foundation Treasurer and owner of Donovan Real Estate Services, and Aaron Newman, Rochester Police Foundation Trustee and founder of Blackwatch, Cloud Checker, and Scale FLX. And Dennis Kessler, Rochester Police Foundation past president and commissioner of New York State Insurance Fund. Also want to thank Pat Gaffney, the Rochester Police Foundation staff assistant, who did a great job in putting this together. The Rochester Police Foundation is an independent 501(c)(3) nonprofit created to support the Rochester Police Department and our community. Some notable programs include Adopt a Family at holiday time, Shop with a Cop Youth Outreach, Victims Assistance Unit, Supplying Canine Unit Dogs, Horse-Mounted Patrol Funding, and recently we had a successful GoFundMe campaign to raise $50,000 for the family of fallen officer Manny Ortiz, organized by Rochester Police Foundation trustee Aaron Newman, with a matching grant of $17,000 by a very successful auto dealer, Kitty Van Bortle. Thank you, Kitty. For more information, please make a tax-deductible donation and visit to rochesterpolicefoundation.org. Now I'd like to focus on today's first topic on the Bleeding Control Initiative, which is a joint project with the Rochester Police Department and funded by donations from the Rochester Police Foundation. It's being announced today to coincide with National Stop the Bleed Day. I was very surprised to learn that uncontrolled bleeding is the most preventable cause of death following trauma. This initiative will equip 100% of RPD patrol staff with life-saving tourniquet kits for emergency use in the field, and not only for first responders, but also for citizens. With the Rochester Police Foundation's contribution of over $15,000 in standardized supplies to the RPD, we will save lives. We're continuing to receive private donations of large and small amounts to help with this cause, and we're thankful for our community in rallying to assist. Now I'm very pleased to introduce a great guy, Dr. Mark Gestring.
Good morning. Tim's right. Uncontrolled bleeding is the single most preventable cause of death following traumatic injury. And what we've learned is the greatest opportunity to save a life is right at the scene. If somebody's there soon after the injury who knows what to do, that really sets the stage for a life being saved. Our police officers in the City of Rochester are frequently those first people on the scene when serious injuries occur. So, today's a great opportunity. Today's National Stop the Bleed Day, like Tim said, and it's a great opportunity to announce the exciting collaboration between the Rochester Police Department and the Rochester Police Foundation. In essence, the major commitment on the part of both organizations. The Rochester Police Department has committed to doing the training. Their entire patrol staff is now fully up to speed with the techniques needed to control bleeding in the kind of urgent or the kind of immediate environment. And the Rochester Police Foundation is helping to provide each patrol officer with the equipment they need to be successful doing that. So those two things really go hand in hand, because the equipment is not really anywhere near as valuable without the commitment to the training. So the two of those things together is really a joint commitment And the impact of this project will be seen almost immediately in our city. Our police, fire, and EMS personnel already save lives every single day. With this new initiative now, the police department is much more aggressive about bleeding control. They are much more comfortable with the concept. They're much more equipped to deal with these emergencies. I can tell you personally, as a trauma surgeon in the city, I've seen numerous patients just within the last several months or 6-month period of time which these patients have arrived at the hospital with a fighting chance of survival because a police officer did something to stop that bleeding before the patient arrived. These officers are saving lives of the community every day, and they need our support. So as a member of the Police Foundation, I'm extremely proud to be part of this effort and very pleased that the foundation was able to support it. From the other thing, just Tim alluded to the current times that we're living in. I'll mention that from a demographic perspective, traumatic injuries are known to spike during warmer months. We're heading into the summer. And at the same time, during the current pandemic, more people are likely to be at home, more kids are not in school, and the potential for home injuries and those kinds of events happening at home, it actually goes up. You would think that there'd be less injury, but in fact, it actually goes up when people are at home. I will point out, I mentioned that it's National Stop the Bleed Day, and this was basically developed to highlight this national program, which has 2 main goals. Number 1, providing the training that we talked about, and number 2, enhancing public access to bleeding control kits. So many people have seen this. We teach CPR, and defibrillators are available in public places to help supplement the efforts of CPR. Bleeding control kits are exactly the same thing. We want them available in public places so that people can get them when they need them. From an educational point of view, the American College of Surgeons is proud to say we've trained over 1.5 million, close to 2 million people in the last couple of years. We're going to keep going until every American knows what to do in an emergency. And we're working hard with city, state, county, private business organizations to try and get these kits into the public space where people can use them when they need them. I'll end by saying that, the mantra of the whole program, the only thing more tragic than a death is one that could have been prevented. And any information you want to get about this program is available at stopthebleed.org. It's kind of the national website for this effort, stopthebleed.org. It'll give you information about courses. It'll give you information about where the initiative's going. Tim, thanks for the opportunity to participate in this important effort.
Thank you very much, Mark. Chief Morabito?
I thank you. So we can't thank the Rochester Police Foundation for their generous donation in support of this vital equipment that will be used to potentially save lives of our officers and our citizens of the community we serve. This started out as a simple conversation with myself, Dr. Cushman, and Executive Deputy Chief Felipe Hernandez from the Rochester Fire Department, where we thought we needed to conduct some refresher training on how to use the tourniquets that the officers already had. And this actually led to not only completing that training for all our officers, but the foundation providing the funds to supply our officers with a new tourniquet and a surplus for replacement as needed. The RPD is very fortunate to have unwavering support of the Rochester Police Foundation. I can't begin to express our appreciation for their consistent willingness to provide our agency with vital safety equipment and other operational items. So not just for the tourniquets we're talking about today, but for many other items that they purchased over the years. And I believe Tim alluded to this a bit. Horses for our mounted unit, canine dogs for our canine officers, ballistic shields, and that's just to mention a few. In closing, I just want to thank you on behalf of Chief Singletary and the entire Rochester Police Department. We value our relationship with such a great organization and friend of the Rochester Police Department and everyone that's involved here on this conference and the leadership that we get and the support we get. I can't thank you enough. I simply want to say thank you.
Thank you, Chief. And now our lovely Mayor.
Thank you, Tim. I want to thank Tim and the Rochester Police Foundation for inviting me to be a part of today's announcement. As the mayor of our great city, the health, safety, and well-being of our community and our citizens is always a top priority. It causes me a great deal of pain when our residents, as well as the people who are sworn to protect and serve our community, are hurt or injured. Today, as we observe National Bleeding Awareness Day, we must remember the many individuals who have lost their lives due to excessive blood loss, whether you're through an unfortunate accident or a senseless act of violence. However, thanks to the Bleeding Control Initiative that the Rochester Police Foundation is enacting in our community, Our hope is that the number of people who die before they can get medical help will get what they need and be able to survive. Our RPD patrol officers are often the first on the scene when calls come in for accidents or violent acts. Equipping them with the tourniquet kits that can be used to control bleeding before firefighters or EMTs arrive will undoubtedly save many lives. Again, I want to thank Tim Tompkins and the Rochester Police Foundation for funding this important initiative, as well as Dr. Gestring from the University of Rochester Medical Center for taking the lead on developing and implementing these kits. I applaud your commitment to the safety of our officers and first responders, as well as your concern for the lives of the people who live and work in our city. I also want to thank those many people that not only have donated to this cause, but have been stepping up to the plate and helping our officers along the way with support and providing masks and gloves and other things, because of your help, we're able to do the things that we need to do on behalf of our community and our city and keep them safe. So thank you very, very much to everyone on this call, and for all those that are out there praying for us and fighting for us to be able to come out the other side of this stronger and better than we were before.
Thank you very much, Mayor, and thank you for attending today. And Aaron Newman, I have a little surprise later on for you from the mayor's office. All right, folks.
I don't know what to expect now.
All right, folks, I want to now recognize all the donors to this project. First and foremost, I want to thank Dr. Mark Gestring, a Rochester Police Foundation trustee, for his donation of time and really spearheading this cause and writing a personal check and helping coordinate the purchase of tourniquets and badges. Thank you, Mark. Next, I would like to thank Rochester Police Foundation Vice President Michael Weed of the Summers Foundation for a substantial donation to this initiative. We'd also like to extend thanks to Rochester Police Foundation Treasurer and successful commercial real estate broker, Brian Donovan. In addition, our Secretary, Jeff Leanhouse, supported this issue from Home Leasing. We'd also like to thank the following Rochester Police Foundation trustees: Adrian Morgenstern of Morgenstern Insurance, Chris Simony of Buckingham Properties, Molly Flaherty of M-Body, Rochester, and F.L. Gorman of Harris Beach. We also want to thank our honorary board members, George Heisel and Mike Donahue. The remainder of more than $15,000 total project costs will be funded by the Rochester Police Foundation General Fund, which is generated by everyday donors throughout the year. Please consider making a tax-deductible donation to the Rochester Police Foundation.org. At this point, I'd like to turn over to Brian Donovan.
I would like to give special recognition to fellow board member and trustee of the Rochester Police Foundation, Aaron Newman, for his generous donation of 10,000 N95 masks that help to protect our officers and members of the City Department of Environmental Services. He also spearheaded and started a GoFundMe campaign for the family of fallen officer Manny Ortiz, which resulted in a $50,000 fundraise. So thank you, Aaron, sorry about that. I'd like to hand that over to the mayor.
So at this time, I would like to recognize Mr. Aaron Newman with a special mayoral recognition for the donations that you provided to our DES department and our police officers, as well as for the support that you provided for Officer Manny Ortiz's family. You know, many times people do not have to step up and fill in the gap, but time and time again, Aaron, you have done that on behalf of our community. And I wanted to present this special mayoral recognition to you because you are one of those people that have really filled in the gap for many people in our city. And we truly, truly appreciate you for your service and for your commitment to the residents of Rochester and making sure that our community continues to thrive. It is people like you that continue to lift as you climb that makes our community the best community that it can possibly be. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome to everybody. And of course the dog is barking in the background. So this is the new life of Zoom. So This is going to be fun. But no, I mean, thank you guys. You guys are the ones that are doing the real work. I'm just here to support and help and to rally people. You know, and it takes a village to do all this. And so if there's a little piece that I can do to make the mayors, the city workers, the police departments, life better, that's here. So been very fortunate in my own life. And so I just want to give back and help. So thank you for this, you know, but it's really unnecessary, and just being able to help is all I really want to do. Thank you all.
Thank you, Aaron. Terrific. You've been a big help.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now I'd like to recognize and thank Stefani LiDestri, co-CEO of LiDestri Food and Drink, for their community support, including converting 2 of its production lines to Recipe 21 hand sanitizer. LiDestri has producing medical grade hand sanitizer to assist in the battle against COVID-19, doing their part to meet healthcare needs nationally as well as locally. LiDestri has donated close to 400 gallons of hand sanitizer to local fire and police departments and ambulance corps, in addition to another 136 gallons donated to charities and essential businesses throughout the Rochester area. LiDestri has been helping to feed our community during this crisis, donating more than 4,000 jars of tomato sauce to FoodLink, plus an additional donations to local organizations such as the Veterans Outreach Center. FoodLink reported that the sauce was distributed in emergency food boxes to thousands of families in need of food during the pandemic. I would also like to really thank LiDestri Food and Drink for ongoing support by Giovanni LiDestri, who I'm honored to call a personal friend. I'd like to thank the entire LiDestri family for their support of the Rochester Police Foundation from day one in many ways, including their annual donation of spirits and beverages to the gala, which makes it a very profitable fundraising event. And whenever my friend Giovanni shows up at the gala, he's always donating more money to this cause by bidding on our live auction items. As president, I personally want to thank Giovanni and his son, co-CEO John C. LiDestri, for serving on the Rochester Police Foundation Honorary Board. This community is lucky to have their manufacturing facilities in the Rochester area, supplying jobs and giving back to this community. Now I'd like to ask the mayor to share her thoughts.
Thank you, Tim. During this pandemic, I've been amazed at the people who have stepped up to fill the voids, as I said about Aaron, that has unexpectedly arisen during this pandemic. LiDestri Food and Drink has definitely played a major role in filling in one of those such voids, and has helped our community keep our community safe by providing hand sanitizer, and that hand sanitizer has become like gold. You generously shifted your business from food and beverage production to producing large quantities of sanitizer to meet the growing demand. Because of you, our police and our fire department, along with many other organizations throughout our community, were able to stay sanitized and protected against COVID-19. So, Ms. LiDestri, I want to thank you and your family for your efforts to keep our residents healthy and to protect our first responders, most of all, and the people of Rochester. I also thank you for feeding the hungry and the less fortunate by donating cases of your delicious sauce to both FoodLink and the Veterans Outreach Center. Your family's kindness and generosity is much appreciated, and it is people like you that allow us to keep going each and every day. You are truly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Lovely. Those were extremely kind words from you. Couldn't appreciate it more. Our family is in business because we love employing people with meaningful job experiences and giving back through nourishing our communities, and pivoting to be able to make the Recipe 21 hand sanitizer, as my 8-year-old daughter says, gives us a little bit of hope and rainbow in every drop. Which I think is just incredibly adorable, but so on point. And we're so fortunate to be an essential business and to have such a strong network of community members here in Rochester that show up every single day and make it possible for my family to be able to make these contributions. Without our employees, we would be nothing.
Thank you, Stephanie. Now I'd like to transition into recognition and thanks to all of our first responders who remain in the field, protecting us and our communities, and especially in light of COVID-19. We're proud to be able to support them. We want to thank everyone for taking time out of their busy schedules to help raise awareness and visibility for these efforts and initiatives. In closing, please help the Rochester Police Foundation by visiting rochesterpolicefoundation.org. We'll be launching new initiatives to help our local responders in our communities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
You're here.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for your,
Anyone.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Nice
Tim.
to
Thank you, everyone.
thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Everybody.
Memorial Day.
Great. Have a good one.
Have a good day.
Thanks, everyone.